Introducing Hummingbird Apps, a new way to think about your tech stack. Hummingbird Apps allows you to craft a custom solution based on your program needs. Add capabilities, integrate the best tools, and enter new jurisdictions. With apps, you get what you want, when you want it. Compliance is full of moving parts. Hummingbird Apps puts them all in perfect combination.
All right, you may begin your 7-minute pitch right now.
はじめまして、私たちは Hummingbird です。We build superpowers for financial crime fighters for some of the largest financial institutions in the world. We're a platform for organizing and completing sort of the very complex tasks that compliance teams have to handle, regardless of what jurisdiction that they're in. Our team is comprised of former very senior regulators, global heads of compliance from companies like American Express and Citibank, and very early product people from companies like Square and Apple, so trying to bridge the gap. We think we're probably the only compliance software company in the world that has a design team from Apple, so we'd like to really focus on having a good quality experience within the platform. So we exist to basically take data from many different sources that compliance analysts have to deal with and roll it all up into a single environment, layer on automations and other features to make their jobs more seamless and smooth. We cut across basically all practice areas of risk disciplines. We started in the anti-money laundering space, but we can be applied across enhanced due diligence, customer risk monitoring, consumer complaints, disputes, you name it, we can basically build it and support a workflow for it. Compliance teams face challenges. Fragmented data, they have to deal with multi-jurisdictional teams, multidisciplinary teams. It's very difficult to coordinate all of that work. If they get it wrong, it can lead to substantial regulatory penalties, especially in some countries like my home country in the United States, where they tend to charge a lot of money in penalties. We've been adopted by some of the largest financial institutions in the world, 5 of the largest fintechs globally, and one of the largest financial institutions by assets in Fannie Mae. We can be applied across almost every type of financial institution that has a regulatory risk obligation. Basically how the platform works, Hummingbird does everything you see in the circle here. We're a modular case management platform that can ingest data, streamline it, overlay workflows, and we have a variety of connectors that come in and go out to initiate actions within our customers' systems. The result is a dramatic increase in the efficiency of this work. We typically see a 50 to 70% time reduction to complete compliance-related tasks. In the case of suspicious activity reporting, it often saves up to from 2 to 4 hours of the filing work. We do this by enabling structured data ingestions. Basically, we'll bring information from a variety of different sources and standardize into a uniform data schema. And then we layer automation and robotic process automation on top of that to let various repetitive tasks be completed much more quickly and efficiently. And I think most importantly for the long run, the data sciences piece, we become the human feedback loop where all of that data is labeled by the human investigators doing the work in our platform. And then that data is fed back to our partners or the data sciences teams of our customers to help them train and target their models more accurately. We exist in a build and buy ecosystem. Historically, large financial institutions have been faced with a build versus buy decision where they either have to take exactly what vendor they provide off the shelf, or they have to figure out how to build it in-house. Growing up in the large international fintech space, none of those companies are purely buying. They all have a high tendency to want to build their own technology. So we build to complement that type of model, where you can pick and choose the best components from the vendor ecosystem out there and complement them with your own tools that you build yourself. So going quickly through some platform features. We are building a regulatory app store, which is both our own home-developed apps as well as an ever-growing partner ecosystem. Companies like Quantexa, Featurespace, LexisNexis, Thomson Reuters. All of these data sources can be directly embedded within Hummingbird platforms so our customers can pick and choose what they want. Layered on top of that, we have a Zapier-style automations platform that lets you build customized recipes where actions are initiated based off of configurable triggers, then executed by the platform and presented to the investigator in the output, all generating a complete audit trail. This lets us do a variety of things in terms of connecting into the financial institution system. So obviously, if you have API access to your data, we can work with APIs and webhooks to push and pull data and initiate system actions. If you have systems that are older and don't enable API connectivity, we can do bulk import. We have our own AI-based data interpreter where you can basically send us structured data files or CSV files. We can build an interpreter and then extract that data out in a batch process or even drag and drop if an investigator needs to do that way. The inputs are incredibly flexible. I've seen one of the oldest financial institutions we work with that literally is dealing with a database that they built 30 years ago. And they built a 24-hour batch process basically that just pushes a whole bunch of data to us. We can rip it out and put it into a more modern data structure. All that information is extracted into a CRM-style database, so the investigators can get a ever-growing profile of knowledge based off of all your customers, devices, financial accounts, IP addresses, whatever it would be. If it showed up in an investigation, we'll create a profile for it, and then that information is available as context to your future investigators. And this all feeds into case management, which is where the investigators are actually doing their day jobs. It's the core of what we do, easily configurable workflows, very configurable access rights and permissions. And then underneath all of that, alert intelligence lets us aggregate alerts across multiple different sources into a single platform and streamline the work. So instead of doing maybe 5 different alerts being worked by 5 different teams, they all can be done by a single group with relevant context. And obviously, this leads to some of the best investigations tools in the world. And we have the ability to send and receive information requests from any external party. It could be business relationship managers, law enforcement agencies, you name it, we can support it. And this feeds into me being an ex-regulator. This produces a much easier and streamlined regulatory exam process. So the core of what we built at the start was automated suspicious activity reporting. It's a product we're bringing to Japan here. SARs are very complex and difficult to work with. We can support filing across over 60 countries now. Japan and the rest of the APAC region are a recent expansion for us. We're very much looking forward to coming into the market here and trying to find some new partnerships. So, domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Matthew Van Buskirk, co-CEO of Hummingbird Regtech Incorporated from the United States.